my fellow Helldivers, welcome back to my channel. Today I am making you a Armour passive tier list from S tier going all the way down to F tier. I will explain why I make certain choices on this tier list, explain the capabilities of these Armour passives against the three different factions, and why you should choose some and why you maybe shouldn't choose some others. So yeah, let's get into it, and unfortunately we start off on a pretty weak note. We start off with Democracy Protects. It gives you a 50% chance to negate deadly damage, and it makes it so that you don't take continuous damage from chest wounds. Now, it is F tier, but the chest wounding, it's F tier because the chest wounding is present on a much better armor passive, and the other perk is just gambling, and 50% is not going to pay off enough times to where it's going to make it worth wearing this armor set. And it's only available in medium armor, which once again makes it a lot less desirable because some people just like playing heavy or light armor. So yes, Democracy Protects. As much as it is a cool concept, it cannot be higher than F tier. If you enjoy it, go for it, but yeah, maybe you shouldn't if you just want to consider strategic performance. We bring it all the way back up with extra padding, which is an S tier armor set, and it is as wonderful and incredible as it is simple. It simply bumps your armor rating up to the next tier of armor without costing you speed or stamina regeneration, which is really good. This is available in every armor class, from light all the way up to heavy, where light armor will give you extremely high mobility and medium damage negation, medium armor gives you medium mobility, and heavy armor and heavy damage negation, and the heavy armor with extra padding is just, it makes you a complete bullet sponge, and it makes you pretty strong. And once again, we keep going strong with the medkit armor passive, which is an undisputable S tier. It gives you 2 extra maximum steams, bringing you up to 6, and every steam you have will last for 2 seconds longer. I have a short video explaining why this armor set is great, because it is awesome. Basically, it makes you invulnerable to non-lethal damage, and basically damage that cannot one-shot you from full health. You are invulnerable to that for 6 seconds with every steam you use, which is really good. So yes, you should definitely use this. It's available in every armor class as well, elevating it even more. Now, engineering passive. This is where it gets a little bit more polarizing, because you could make an argument for this being S tier, but I will be going with A tier, because it gives you 2 extra grenades and more controllable recoil when you are crouching or going prone. This can make quite a number of very strong weapons even stronger. For example, the heavy machine gun, the adjudicator, etc. But only when you are crouching or prone. So yeah, you have to sacrifice some mobility to make your weapons better. But then there are the extra grenades, which makes it more easy to clear more hordes and close more spawners without having to resupply. So yeah, that's very good. Although this doesn't increase, neither of these increase the amount of steams or grenades you get back from resupplies. If they did, that would be pretty OP. So next up is Fortified, and Fortified is once again one of those that could be S tier, but I will once again make the argument for it being A tier. It protects you 50% from explosive damage. It protects 50% explosive, and it makes your recoil once again more controllable. Now, the recoil thing, the same goes for what I said about the engineering kit. Some weapons greatly benefit from this, but you have to trade mobility to get that benefit. On the explosive resistance thing, all three factions utilize explosive damage to great effect. The squids have their stingrays, they have their artillery overseers, they have their spear overseers, which their projectiles do deal explosive damage. Very good there. You may not know this, but the bugs also utilize explosive damage. Whenever they are basically spitting or vomiting or shooting something at you, that is usually explosive damage on the back front. So, and those are very oppressive attacks that can cripple you and take away a lot of HP, so definitely very good on those two fronts. Where it really shines is the bot front, where it's actually the majority of their damage being explosive. So really awesome. No, the scout passive, again, could be S tier, could be A tier, depending on who you ask. For me, this is absolutely S tier. It is just incredible. And the reason I say that is because I really enjoy stealth diving. It makes it so that you're 30% less detectable by enemies. And the way that works is wherever you are, there's a circle around you. And if there is an enemy within that circle facing toward you, they will spot you. This circle decreases if you're crouching or you're prone, and then again the scout passive decreases it further. And the second perk, because this comes with a second perk, when you mark a location on your minimap, you get radar signals, which is an underrated perk, because if you put your radar ping on a objective or camp, that basically means that you get to see how many heavies are in that area, how many small enemies are in that area, which side the heavies are concentrated on, so you can plan your attack a lot better and sneak in to much better effect. So yeah, definitely worth it. Next is servo assisted, and servo assisted I will be placing in B tier. Now this can save your limbs. You get 50% chance to avoid grievous limb injury. Getting your leg crippled is incredibly annoying and basically requires you to use a stim. Getting your arm crippled doesn't quite require it, but when that happens you're usually taking a lot of damage. So yeah, when you're getting your limbs crippled, you're in a bit of a mess. And when you're in a bit of a mess, you might want other armor passives, basically. Something that will help you kill faster or make you more tanky, instead of just helping you save your limbs, if that makes sense. I think it does, actually. It also makes you able to throw things faster, both the stratagem balls and your grenades, which it can be really good, but it's not that good, you know. It's a perk, but it's like take it or leave it. It's a bit of a nothing burger, as they say. Alright, so next up we're going up to the electricity resistance. 95% resistance against arc damage. And 95% is basically 100%. Yet it just doesn't happen often enough for this to be high tier. So this will go in the C tier. Basically, you should maybe consider it if you're going to be diving against the squids. You should maybe consider it if you'll be bringing the K9 rover guard dog. And you should maybe consider it if you have some friends who tend to be reckless with arc weapons. Otherwise, it's just not worth sacrificing your armor slot for something so specific. Something that's only utilized by a couple of enemies. Well, actually, 3 whole enemies in one of the 3 fronts. So, yeah, not that good. Next up, peak physique, and this will earn a lot of disagreement, but this is S tier. And the reason this is S tier is because it gives you a flat 30 plus to your ergonomics when you pick up a weapon or hold a weapon. So 30 plus is really good because some weapons compensate their strength with low ergonomics. For example, a Raptor, Adjudicator, HMG, Heavy Machine Gun, Medium Machine Gun, Stalwart, recoilless rifle, expendable, commando, especially on the commando, AMR, epoch, etc., etc. They compensate their incredible strength with low wieldability. It's difficult to wield because of high recoil and low ergonomics. Making your ergonomics higher really supercharges those weapons a lot more than recoil reduction does, in my opinion. So yeah, peak physique is great. Also, if you build the Liberator for ergonomics and slap peak physique armor on yourself, you've got a gun that basically follows your cursor as quickly as you can move it. It's great, it's awesome. So next, I unfortunately don't have as much good things to say about it, is the inflammable armor set. So out of the 3 factions, 2 factions use fire damage. On the boss front, there is only one enemy type that will appear in almost every mission and use fire damage, and that is the Hulk Scorcher. They have a subdivision that prevalently uses fire damage, and they are really threatening. I will give you that. They are a very dangerous subfaction, really powerful units, but yeah, you usually won't be fighting them when you're fighting bots. And on the back front, in all 3 of their subfactions, only one enemy uses fire damage. No, a lot of Helldivers do enjoy using fire damage, and your double-edged sickle also deals fire damage to you. So because it can make a lot of builds viable, it deserves to be B tier instead of following the cutting edge armor. But the same cannot be said about chemical agent armor. Advanced filtration. This is F tier. Not a single enemy uses gas damage in the game. When you look like you are getting gassed by bugs, that's actually acid attacks. And yeah, it's just, if you're using gas, one, you probably shouldn't. It's not that good. A lot of other people like to ride on gas being good. It's not. So yeah, but even if you do want to use it, because it's decent, it's not good, it's decent. If you want to use it, you can wear it, but then again, you shouldn't be standing in your own gas grenades. So no, even then, this is not a good choice. And next up, something I can say a lot more good things about is the unflinching armor passive, which is probably the most clear-cut A tier, in my opinion. What you get with this armor set is 3 whole perks, 3 really good perks, well, 1 mediocre and 2 really good. What you get is you're more difficult to flinch from small arms and melee attacks, making it so that you can keep your aim on track more. It makes it so that the next perk makes it so that it has higher armor value, which for light armor is 75 points of armor instead of 50, and for medium it's 125 instead of 100, and unfortunately it is not available in heavy armor variants. So yeah, those are already the 2 great perks, and the third perk is similarly to Scout passive. You get radar pings on your minimap when you mark something, and once again, same thing. It gives you a great strategic advantage to map out areas, camps, etc. before you get into them. So yeah, very good. Really, it may be S tier, but I'm more comfortable putting it in A tier. Next up, the Killzone collaboration armor acclimated passive. It's F tier simply because it cannot be acquired at this point. If they bring it back, I would put it in B tier, honestly. So yeah, unfortunate. I will really love some Killzone stuff myself because I wasn't here for the collab, but I can't get it, so F tier. And nobody else, no other new player can get it either. So, Siege Ready. Siege Ready, in my opinion, is overrated for good reason. It's not as good as people like to say, in my opinion, because for most weapons it gives you 1, 2, sometimes 3 extra magazines, and for your primary it makes you reload faster. Now that's decent, and all that. It improves your damage per second with your primary and your ammo economy with your other weapons. But in my opinion, personally, that's not worth more than a B tier, and it's only available in light and heavy armor. Also, the warbond that it originally comes in, the rest of it is not very good. Okay, we have another F tier here. Integrated explosives. Just leave it at home. It makes it so that you explode after you die, and it gives you 2 more grenades. The 2 more grenades are okay for closing spawners, they are okay for more crowd control, but just making you explode might piss your teammates off, and it's why wouldn't you choose something that gives you a perk when you're alive, like the engineering kit that shares one of 2 perks with this one, and it gives you a perk you can use while you're alive, and that's one of your goals in this game, believe it or not. Reduce the enemy's HP to 0 before they reduce your HP to 0. So yeah, now we have the Gunslinger passive, and you can see that I already put it into F tier because it's not good. It's not good, in my opinion. It gives buffs to your secondary weapon, and your secondary weapon is usually not important enough as a strategic asset to be worth dedicating your whole armor passive to. What it does is increase sidearm reload speed, not very good. Sidearms reload relatively quickly. Sidearm draw and holster speed, maybe when you've run out of ammunition in your primary and your support weapon and you really just need to whip out your secondary. I could see situations where this saves your life, but way too rare. And sidearm recoil reduced by 70%, just the definition of a nothing burger passive. Not good. I would not recommend it. So next up we have reinforced epaulets, and I do think that I should place this in B tier because it has some decent perks. It makes your melee attacks stronger. It makes your primary reload faster, and it makes you 50% likely to avoid grievous limb injury. Now these are 3 fairly nothing perks. Faster reload for your primary, decent, but usually your support weapon is your primary, so not that big there. 50% chance to reduce limb injury. It's gambling, and it's not that good. When something hits your leg multiple times and has a chance to cripple your leg each time, winning the 50-50 is luck. It's just a 50-50. It's a coin toss, and dedicating an armor perk to a coin toss is not good in my opinion. And the increased melee damage, definition of a nothing burger, take it or leave it, basically. Could be useful on the squid fronts, is all I can say. Next up is actually another A tier for our list, ballistic padding. 25% reduction in chest damage, which means that when you get hit, center of mass, the most likely place to get hit by simple logic, 25% reduction in the damage you take. 25% explosive damage reduction goes on top of that from the second perk. Pretty powerful on all three fronts because of things I've mentioned before, you know, stingrays, artillery overseers, or the rockets on the bot front, and things like the Bio-Titan vomit on the back front. Take that also you can have this in every armor level, and you really have yourself a great passive. And it has a third perk where it makes it so that if you sustain chest injury, you will not take continuous damage from hemorrhaging, which is really strong because recently they did buff hemorrhaging and it is a very oppressive thing now. And next up is the control group armor passive. And I am tempted to put this in B tier, but I think C tier will be better for it because the main thing, the new perk that it introduces is bad. It's just bad. Basically, when you would die, you revive. And you cannot run. You can use teams, but you cannot run. And your HP is constantly draining at a faster and faster rate. It's not good. The second perk is it increases the steam duration by 2 seconds. That is a good perk, but if you really want that perk, go with medkit. So not with this one. And it provides 50% arc damage resistance. Now again, with how rare arc damage is, this is mainly going to be useful if you have some reckless teammates or the K9 rover. Next up, a lot of people might get a little angry at this because they love Halo and therefore the Halo War 1 must be good, but the feed first passive C tier. The reason it's C tier is because it's geared towards sneaking by reducing your noise, 50% reduction in noise when moving. Not a good armor passive, not a good perk, I mean. Because the way detection works in this game is enemies can see you, which is the most likely way they will aggro to you. Enemies can be aggroed by your shots, which basically works by when you fire a shot, you project a cone from the barrel of your rifle, and if there are any enemies scouting that cone, then they will immediately know your position and fire back at you. A third way is enemy aggro propagates between enemies. If you infiltrate a camp with a patrol on your S, then the camp will be very quick to become privy to your location. And the fourth way is enemies can hear you, which is the least likely to happen. So it's not a good perk. Next perk on this armor passive is increases the identification range of points of interest. This is possibly one of the most nothing burger armor perks because you will just simply see points of interest. Why would you need this? Why? Also on higher difficulties, points of interest are full of enemies, including heavy enemies like tanks, like chargers, like impalers, flash mobs, overseers, harvesters, etc. It's not good. It's not worth it. Maybe when you're farming super credits, but only then. And lastly, it makes your legs immune to sustaining damage. Now again, a leg injury basically always requires a steam and immediate attention, so that is decent, but unfortunately it doesn't make this thing worth it. Just go with extra padding, go with medkit, go with any of the others. And last but not least, the Desert Stormer armor passive. The armor passive with an identity crisis. This gives you 40% damage reduction to acid damage, 40% to gas damage, 40% to fire damage, and 40% to arc damage. And then it gives you the ability to throw things like grenades and stratagems 20% farther. It's not bad by any means, it isn't bad, that's why it goes in the B tier. It's mediocrity incarnate basically. Only the bugs use acid damage, where it's actually pretty useful. The 40% reduction reduces damage, and the time you spend slowed down by acid. The gas damage is just not a single enemy unit uses it, only you and your teammates use gas attacks. So if that's the only reason you would bring it, then just learn to move your ass out of the gas cloud. It's really not that difficult. Maybe sometimes it is when you're pinned or something like that. Then the fire damage resistance. Not a lot of enemies use fire damage, which does diminish the usefulness here, but still it can make something like the double-edged sickle a little bit more viable. Then there's the arc damage reduction, which once again, maybe against 3 units on the squeeze front it can be okay, and if you have reckless teammates or the K9 it can be okay, but it's not that good. And 20% and drawing things 20% farther, it's fine. I mean, you can aim your stratagems and your grenades better, but it's not that worth it. Anyways, that's all I had to say about armor passives. Thank you for watching this video. Please consider liking and subscribing, and I hope that you have a wonderful day. Goodbye.